that, some really eye-opening viewing. It's Secrets of Ireland's Pickpockets revealed now on 3.
Pickpockets across Ireland are roaming our streets 7 days a week.
Sometimes you have to do it twice a day.
Whether working alone or within a group, these professionals are preying on people in unlikely places.
Dressing rooms is perfect. There's a gap in between the two aisles of the dressing room.
Throughout this programme, we gain an insight into where they work.
Just in town late at night, women coming out of pubs, they're often really vulnerable.
Most of the time I would do it in shops, pubs and shops.
How they operate.
I have got pretty violent. A woman I swung into a wall and basically knocked her out.
And who they target.
Mainly tourists, middle-aged women. The older the better. The older women don't seem to scream as much.
Women more so, just give her a slap, she'll fall free, she'll fall to the ground in terror.
Magician Brian Daly pickpockets through entertainment. He learned his craft through research and observation.
I got interested in pickpocketing by seeing documentaries and things like that, and I noticed they were using the same principles as a magician. So they can misdirect someone, they can divert their attention and distract them. And I said I could employ that in magic when I'm getting close to people and interacting with them during a trick. The way most people get involved in it is through either feeding a drug habit or feeding an alcoholic habit or feeding some form of habit like that. It's very, very rare that someone just gets into it purely for the money and doesn't have a habit or something they have to feed afterwards, but they have to have some kind of force driving them into crime.
Sinead was introduced to pickpocketing 12 years ago. Since then, she has had a run of success and has never been caught.
Some people are reared into this lifestyle. I'm not one of those. I actually come from a good family, I come from a good background. I do know right from wrong, and I know what I do is wrong, but I have a drug addiction and I feel this is the only way I can make money quickly. I started shoplifting, and then you go from shoplifting into dipping. You know, you're taking less of a risk, because shoplifting, like, you can walk out and get caught easily. Whereas when you're just picking up people's purses and stuff, it's a lot easier, you know, and quicker. You're getting money where you don't have to go selling clothes and selling stuff then. You're actually getting the money there and then. What happens is you start seeing people being very stupid with their bags and purses, and they have them wide open. So it just went from being an opportunist.
In street pickpocketing, there's 3 different types, if you like. The first level, and the most easy level, is an opportunist pickpocket. And they're just waiting for an opportunity. So it's more to do with the person being unaware of their belongings than it is to do about their skill. And then as the person gets more and more skillful and they realise they can make money at this, they start to take a bit more risk, and the skill level goes up a little bit, and they become just a regular dip or pickpocket. And then they're kind of bumping into you. They might use an accomplice to pass the stuff off to after they dip you, so they can't be caught with it. And they get a little bit more streetwise, and they get a little bit more clever about what they're doing. And then the last level is known in pickpocket terms as a cannon, who is the big gun, who is the creme de la creme, very highly skilled, and is able to take stuff from an inside jacket pocket, is able to unbuckle a watch, is able to take a necktie, is able to take nearly anything within reason. And they're the top level, and they work in gangs of 3, 4 and 5. When they start off, they generally work alone, and as the skill level goes up, then they kind of bring in other people. The maximum number of people in a group of pickpockets would be 5. 5 people is enough to surround someone while someone dips them, and that's all they need. So 1 person on each side and 1 person going for the item, whatever it might be. Normally walking the streets, you would just meet opportunists, and they are the most prevalent of the pickpocket gangs.
Having been introduced to it in his early teens, 26-year-old Daniel makes all his money through pickpocketing.
Years ago we used to do it as kids and all, you know. Then we started getting into drugs and realised that we could start making money from it. Going into town pickpocketing people. We make a lot more money now than we did back then.
How come?
Because you get all the iPhones and all now. They're very easy to rob. And it's a handy way to make money. Like, we could go and jump a shop counter and get played in 6 years, but you can rob the same amount of money off somebody and get paid in 6 months, you know what I mean? It's a lot handier and it's quicker to make money. Some days I could get a bleeding nice dip to set me up for a week. Other days could be 2, 3, 4 days a week.
I only do this when I really have to. So it could be, I could do it for 3 months and the top of the year, and I might give it up then. And then I could do it for 8 months of another year. I could do it for, you know, it depends. It depends on the state I'm in with my drug addiction, because there's times when I really try hard to get clean and live a normal life. And then there's times where I could be out robbing like 2 or 3 times a week.
Pickpocketing mainly happens in large venues where there's big crowds of people, because psychologically a person's personal space gets smaller the more people there are around them. So if you're walking down the street on your own and somebody was on your shoulder and the street was empty, you'd notice that person straight away. If you're walking down a crowded street and someone is here on your arm and just behind you, you won't notice that person. Your personal space, you've that bit less attention. Where it happens then is at football games, any big international events like that, where there's a lot of tourists around as well. And then last but not least kind of thing, more regularly but less reported, is probably outside nightclubs when people are drunk. And the reason it's kind of less reported is because people think they lost their item, they lost their phone, they lost their wallet, when in fact it can be that they were dipped.
Just in town late at night, women coming out of pubs that night or out of clubs, they're often like vulnerable. Stick our hand in and get a couple of £100 in one go. Or on buses, you know, on buses people leave their pockets hanging open. Around bank machines too. Just keep an eye on people leaving bank machines. Sometimes you can just be in the right place at the right time.
Most of the time I would do it in shops, pubs and shops. In the pubs people are dancing, they're leaving their bags, you know, on the chairs where they are. So I would just sit in there sometimes letting on one of the girls. And sometimes I wouldn't even have to sit in. Just walk in, lean over, pick up a pint and pick up my bag. And they think that I'm just one of the pals. Then I go to the toilet, dispose of their stuff and I take the money. Sanitary towel bin, throw whatever you need in there. It'd be very rare that I do it on the road, unless it's like literally they're smiling at me saying, take me, take me, take me. But if it's not, I would mostly do it in the likes of clubs, shopping departments. It could be the toilet in a fast food restaurant. It could be anywhere. Dressing rooms is perfect. If you're in shopping and you're getting changed in the dressing room, there's a gap in between the 2 aisles of the dressing room. Don't just throw your bag on the floor, especially if it's open. A lot of people don't realise their purse would be just sitting there because they're focused on themselves in the mirror. I know there's people waiting on someone to throw their bag down, and there's times I'm doing it myself. I'd be in there letting on that I'm changing. Well, sometimes I actually am shopping as well, you know. As I said, I'm an opportunist, so if something comes up, I'm gonna take it. Sometimes I don't even go out to do it. Like, it just falls into my hands. They think they're safe because they're in a department store, but you're safe nowhere. I get your purse if I want to.
In terms of pickpocket crews and that, the way they operate on the streets of Dublin today, there's a mix of Irish nationals and foreign nationals doing it at the moment, in various gangs using various methods. In terms of setting the Irish pickpockets apart from the foreign national pickpockets, the Irish pickpockets tend to be more distraction theft and will eye up a person maybe at a bank link. They'll wait for the person and follow them, and there'll be 2 together and they might go then when they have the opportunity. The foreign national pickpockets work in much bigger gangs, 4s and 5s, and will be more likely to go for items other than cash to sell on the black market, like credit cards and that kind of thing. Pickpockets want to blend in as much as possible, but being a foreign national, they don't blend in with Irish people. I once saw a guy who I didn't expect was a pickpocket. It was after an Ireland-Italy match. He had an Italian flag wrapped around him, wandering around Temple Bar, and he was hugging people. So he was hugging people, celebrating the match, jumping around with them. And I realised very quickly that he was a pickpocket, and he was using the flag to wrap around people as he was hugging them. He had all the cover and all the time in the world to be working in the inside pockets. So during an international match, when Ireland play a foreign country, then they have the opportunity to pretend they're from that country, mix and mingle with people, and then they're dipping people in the process. I've heard of dips who take a wallet and straight away put it in a self-addressed stamped envelope and put it in the post box. That way, if they're caught and if the guards grab them straight away, there's nothing on them, nothing that they can be brought in for, they can't be convicted, nothing. But 2 or 3 days later, the item arrives in their post.
Do the Gardaí concern you?
Nah, just it's a bleeding occupational hazard. I do always try to have someone with me, so if we do get a dip, just give it to them so they can get offside for a while. Just in case we do get arrested, be out of the station within a few hours, meet back up with them, have all the money, so nothing to be taken off me. I got the 2 years before, but I was out now, like, about a year and a half or something.
Never got caught by the police. Never got caught actually dipping. You know, if you haven't been in trouble in a good long time, which most of the times I haven't, I've often had a good stretch of like 4 or 5 years where I didn't get caught. You'd normally get like, you know, probation, or, you know, you might get a suspended sentence for a year. So you have to be good for a year or two. Hope not jinx myself here, but I've never actually been caught dipping somebody. You'd be stupid not to be concerned by the Garda. Like, I really don't want to be getting caught. I don't want the humiliation of being, you know, dragged up the road, like in handcuffs and stuff like that. Like, I'd be mortified for my family as well as myself, for people to see me in that situation. So, yeah, I am worried about the guards. And if anybody says they don't, I don't believe them, you know, unless they're brilliant at what they do and they've no fear of getting caught.
After the break, Brian demonstrates how pickpockets operate.
Here's how a pickpocket might do this, okay? He might just bump into you, and then that's all it would take.
While we discover what they're wearing to fit in.
A lot of the time, it would be the likes of us going around in suits and looking the part that would be the biggest shoplifters and the biggest dippers.
The level of skill involved is quite high, and people kind of disregard pickpockets. They see them as lowlifes, but it's kind of a paradox. You don't take them for granted. They are highly skilled and highly intelligent. They do put a lot of practice into it, and the more money they get, the more incentive they have to practice. So they will get better and better and better.
There's a skill. Some people are brilliant, you know? Like, I would only say I'm average, but I know some people who are unbelievable. Like, they take your watch off your arm without you even knowing. You know, some people really are good at what they do. I wouldn't be that good.
Attempting to make more people aware of how easy it is for pickpockets to operate, Brian takes to the streets to demonstrate their skills.
I'm Riley.
Riley, where are you from, Riley?
I'm from South Dakota.
South Dakota,
Yeah.
right, from the middle of the US all the way to Dublin. First off, what have you got in your pocket here?
This one?
Oh, the inside pocket. Yeah, grab what's in the inside pocket in here.
That is actually pocket watch.
A pocket watch, a very, very fancy pocket watch. Riley, do they all wear them in America, do they?
No,
This is a very, very fancy.
Just me.
Pop the pocket watch back inside. We'll just drop that in there. So it probably would be valuable for a pickpocket to bump into you. In the outside pocket down here, what do you have? The outside pocket?
Change. Not
Change, just
not much
change, just spare change. And on the inside pocket here, zip-wise, pens.
There's a pen. Yeah, not
Just
much.
pens, not much
There's
at
a
all.
pen in there, and that's it, really.
Just the pen. And in the pants pockets in here, the
I
pants
keep
pockets.
about nothing in there.
Nothing in the pants pockets at
No.
all. Look, here's how a pickpocket might do this, okay?
Alright.
He might just bump into you, and then that's all it would take. First off, what did you have out here? In these pockets here?
This one?
Yeah?
This was my camera, and this is my wallet.
Your wallet. Does your wallet look a bit like this?
It does, and that's very impressive.
Yeah, you don't want to lose that camera either. Your tie is just a bit crooked there. I got to make this look good for TV, you know what I mean? Make
There
this
you
look
go.
good. How's that feel? That?
Yeah, it's very
So
good. Okay.
Fix your collar there. I didn't get the watch. I said I didn't want it. In case I dropped it, it'd be way too
Okay.
expensive.
But you
So
unzipped it.
I did unzip it. But I thought if I dropped that, it's going to be too expensive.
Yeah.
Are you happy you have everything now? You've got wallet, watch, zip it up. Before you go, Riley, your tie, dude, your tie.
Oh my God.
So you have your phone in the outside pocket. You have your phone, and do you have anything in these pockets?
Nope.
No, throw the phone back inside, and I'll show you basically how a pickpocket works. And apart from these, actually, on the inside of your jacket, do you have anything on the inside of your jacket? The pocket, not like a blazer. No, and the outside pocket here, and do you have a pants pocket?
No.
No?
Fair play, yeah.
Here you go, you're going to want to call someone about that. Is there inside pockets in the jacket, not like a blazer? And what about these pockets here? Do you have anything in the pockets here? Just a 10 cent coin, and just bits and bobs more than anything, right?
Yeah.
And this side of the pocket in here, and there's no inside pockets, which is strange.
Yeah.
And do you use your pants pockets at all? Pickpockets call that the candy pocket. Did you know that?
No,
As in
I didn't.
candy from a baby.
Yeah.
If you have an inside jacket pocket, or even in here is the best place to keep it. Close to your body, behind the jacket, closed like this. Even on that side would do, okay?
Yeah.
So first off, we wanted the phone, isn't that right?
Yeah.
So the phone, all you got to do is ring your friend. You might want to ring him there. Tell him about what's just gone on.
No.
No.
Doesn't say to me there.
No, maybe you want to go to the bank link, buy yourself a new one. You might need this wallet. Here you go. We got the bottle of water out of your bag, and we got the phone. Look at that, the phone. Oh,
Fair
there's
play,
the phone.
Jesus.
Not only did we get all of that, but I'm now robbed your identity because I have your bank statement. Here you go. What's your first name?
Simon.
Simon, nice to meet you, Simon. Before we start here, normally a pickpocket would mark you and know where the wallet is and that kind of thing. So just give us a rough idea. Do you have anything in the outside pockets here?
No.
No, very good. That's the candy pockets. Never never leave it in the outside pocket. On the inside pocket of the jacket, nothing there. And here, nothing, very good, close to the body. On the inside pocket in here, the telephone. And on the outside pocket down this side.
Wallet.
And you can see the way you have 3 pockets on this side.
Yeah.
Do you have 3 pockets on this side of this jacket? On that side. You don't have 3 pockets.
Sorry.
Oh, you do have 3 pockets. Is there anything in these pockets? Sorry, your tie is just coming crooked. Very minor tie. I just don't want this to look good for TV. There we go. How's that? Okay?
Yeah.
Right, so, sorry, the 3 pockets here.
Yeah.
And would you normally have anything in those 3 pockets?
My phone, the one you've just taken.
The one I the phone I just took. The phone I just took.
Too smart.
Yeah, too smart. Too smart. But you know what? In the wallet, then you would have. The wallet is the one I would go for. The wallet is the one. Turn around to me here, sir. We'll give you your wallet.
Thank you very much.
We'll give you your phone back, of course. We'll have to give you back your phone.
That was quite excellent. I didn't realise that either had been robbed.
Have you got everything on you now?
I doubt it, but there you go.
Are you happy you have everything?
I'm
Just
sure I do.
last but not least, sir. Last but not least, your tie, sir. Your tie.
Oh, Jesus.
That's the tie back.
Well, listen, what a pro.
Well aware that appearances can be deceptive, Sinead relies on her respectable exterior to aid her role as a pickpocket.
Because I don't look like a typical shoplifter or drug addict, I tend to get away with it. People think you're honest. People don't, you know, it's like this labelling thing. If you walk around in a tracksuit, you're seen as a scumbag and a robber and a shoplifter or a junkie. You go in a suit and people think that you're, you know, a professional or a decent, respectable person in society. Whereas it's a lot of the time it'd be the likes of us going around in suits and looking the part that would be the biggest shoplifters and the biggest dippers. Like, say, somebody would run out of a toilet and say, somebody's after taking me bag. And because I kind of looked the part, I would say, 2 girls are just after running out the door there. You know, I didn't realise they'd done anything wrong. And I'd normally get away with that because, as I said, I looked the part and I don't look like a typical shoplifter or drug addict. They believe me. I'm trustworthy looking and I can charm myself out of it. I remember one time in a club, I was dipping this man. Well, I was dancing with this man in the nightclub and his wallet was in his back pocket. And, you know, I was giving it loads, dancing, humping and grinding on him and stuff. And he actually felt me pulling out his wallet. And I joked about it and I let him think that, like, I'm just letting you see how easily it's done. Now see how quickly I was able to get your wallet. You know, and laugh and joke about it and make it look like it was just a big joke. You know, that I've just proven to him how easy it is for him to lose his wallet. And normally I'd get away with it. Most people won't snap on you anyway, because most people, they're not sure whether you were at their bags or not, or their wallet. They kind of just look at you and shrug away, or they might say like, what you doing, or something, but they normally just keep walking. I would rob people who I think are very privileged because I know that's not really going to hurt them. You know, I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to put people in a difficult situation not being able to pay their bills. I wouldn't go for people from the likes of the inner city, people that I know are struggling. I wouldn't go for them at all. I would go for the very privileged and the likes of Grafton Street. They've plenty of money in their purses. I know it's not going to affect them. A couple of hundred or, you know, like whatever they have in their purse. They've plenty of money in their bank accounts. I'm not a heartless bitch. I know I might sound like a heartless bitch stealing from people, but as I said, I only do it to those who I feel are well able to or can afford to lose a few bob, you know? Even if it's a very privileged older woman, I still wouldn't do it to an old woman because I just think it's wrong.
Mostly women I target and get the odd fella well a wallet and that. But women more so because bleeding, if it comes to it, they're not going to put up a fight, you know what I mean? The Americans now that come in, the foreigners basically, they seem most oblivious to it. They always seem to be the easiest. They're over here having a good time. Probably don't expect to get pickpocketed. You get some of them that are with. Some of them do have like pins, you know, like safety pins in their pockets. You can't get into them and all, but most of them wouldn't have a clue.
I never hurt people. You know, I'd never go out and hurt someone. Even if a female or a male caught me doing what I was doing, you know, I wouldn't punch out or... Like, obviously, if they attack me, I'm going to have to defend myself. But I will try to intimidate them by shouting and screaming, like saying, you know, you come near me and I'll fucking kill you. Or whatever. But it would be the last straw for me to actually, you know, take a swing or a dig at somebody. Because it's just wrong, and I know that. I know it's wrong when I'm doing anyway. But I have to live.
Normally you carry a blade or something. Blades are the handiest for, you know, women with their handbags just off with the strap and gone. If a big bastard came near me or something, I'd just whip my blade out and say, if you want to go for it, go for it. Just try and keep him back till I get away. Now, don't get me wrong, they've often took me blades off and you bet me around before, but what can you do? We'd never use it against a woman, right? There's no point, just give her a slap. Just give her a slap, she'll fall free. That's it. She'll fall to the ground and terror. Just go then. Go to the nearest taxi or whatever. Ring a mate, get a lift, you know what I mean?
What about an innocent person?
Well, if they're stupid enough to be going around with their bags open and bleeding, the opportunity's there to take it, then it deserves to be taken.
Helen Egan has previously managed a busy Dublin cafe. During her time there, she witnessed pickpockets at work.
Most people come to the conclusion that a robber is somebody of a lower class background, and indeed that is the case, but they're the people that stand out. In my opinion, there is two different types. I became very aware that there was also the other type, very well dressed, a person that you would not look twice at, a person that would come in and perhaps scope the place out, that would sit there and have a coffee and look around, look where the cameras are, look where the blind spots are, and then leave, and then come back again and basically prey on their target. People need to be a lot more vigilant. People come into cafes and they put their bags down beside them sometimes instead of you know, under the table. You know, we're all guilty of it.
After the break, a mugger shares his story.
My first time would just been about 16. Like, that's when I started on the heroin about that age.
And reveals all his secrets.
The people who I tag will be mainly tourists. Middle-aged women or people drunk, coming out of pubs, coming out of clubs and stuff, you know.
Since opening in 1997, Tech Security have aided the prosecutions of over 14,000 people.
Street crime that's taking place now is a lot more severe than years ago. You've got attacks, you've got fights, you know, you've got people that are, you know, being beaten up savagely. The CCTV that we put out on the streets, not all always catch the crimes, but they do play a part in solving an awful lot of the big crimes.
Some pickpockets graduate from non-intrusive street crime to more aggressive acts. With drugs as his motivation, 24-year-old Robbie has been making all his money from mugging people since he was just 16.
I've been doing it, I'd say, about 7-8 years. My first time would just been about 16. Like, that's when I started on the heroin about that age. I just ended up having to do it because my habit got that big. At the moment, I'm definitely doing it 4 or 5 times a week, at least. Depends on how much I'm getting out of them, you know? Like, sometimes I could get 600-700 euro a day. I'll just let that last me a couple of days. And then once that's gone, you're straight out again. Sometimes you have to do it twice a day, because you could do it and then there'd be nothing in it, like, you know? There'd be nothing in the bag, like, so you'd have to go out and do it again.
These are people that know exactly who has money, you know, like, you know, people that are flauntatious about their clothing and their baggage, and, you know, and all of these elements that a professional thief would look out for. They're not opportunists.
You don't just go for any person. The people who I tag will be mainly tourists. Middle-aged women or people drunk, coming out of pubs, coming out of clubs and stuff, you know. It's the people who have the money, basically.
How can you tell if they have money?
You can tell by their clothes. You can tell by the way they talk. You can just tell by looking at a person for a split second, you know. There's a million ways you can tell. With the women, the older the better. Well, in a certain age, you know, certain age groups, 30 to 50 say, it'd be the easiest. The older women don't seem to scream as much. They just sort of, they hand it over quicker. Like, I have done it to younger women before as well, but they put up more of a struggle. The tourists, they're actually probably the easiest, really. For one, they're more money than anyone else. Like, I've got 3,000 euro off an American woman one time. That wasn't even so long ago. See the Spanish students as well. They're another good target as well. I've only done a couple of men before and they put up a fight. You basically have to use violence with them, but it's never anything real severe. Anytime I've had to show a blade or anything like that, people hand it over. I've never had to use anything. They always hand it over, except for the 1 or 2 times you'd have to try to snatch, you know, to just snatch a handbag. some people just don't let go, and you have to swing them around just to get them to let go. I have got pretty violent with one or two. A woman I swung into a wall before and basically knocked her out. It's very rare, but you do the odd time have to use violence, you know?
Does it ever stay with you after you've mugged someone?
Yeah. Definitely I feel sorry afterwards, you know? But then again, you do it to get your drugs, get your fix, and then once you get it, you just forget about it.
Muggings, I mean, look, it can happen really anywhere, but in general, it happens in built-up areas, you know, your city centres.
We'd go to an ATM. Well, stand across from an ATM machine. We'd be just watching for a certain kind of person at an ATM, and then just follow them to an area where I know I can get away and basically just pull the blade out. Just put the blade to them. You wouldn't go down it on O'Connell Street or any lit up area like that. You go to just some offside street, you know. At night it's the best, you know, with people coming out of the pub and club and all as well. People who are drunk and all, you know. They don't know what they're doing. Especially up around the posh areas, up around Harcourt Street, up around certain areas like that. You know that they're gonna have some money on them, you know? I take everything. The whole bag, the whole purse, everything they have. They have all the best iPhones and all. Like, when I follow them from the ATMs, I get anything. I get €20. It could be €500. It could be anything. Then if I get an iPhone, I'd get another €200 for the iPhone straight away. And the credit cards. I just go to a fella and he'd take the cards off me. So basically get rid of everything that's in the bag, you know?
Robbie's most successful bag snatch has made him over €4,000. So as a street criminal, does it pay to be aggressive?
There's days where, you know, like I get a nice few bob and I'm delighted with myself. I just think it's my birthdays all coming at once. You could get one dip and you could get like £1,000. You could get 900, you could get 1,500, you know. And then there's a time when you might get a fiver, you know, so it depends. If I get 400-500 quid and like 2 dips or something, I'll go home. I'm not greedy, I'm not going to stick around, you know, and take a bigger chance.
I've often made over bleeding 800 quid straight into a purse. Then the credit cards, I have another person I can give them to get a few quid for them, do you know what I mean? Just sell them off to another fella who deals with them. I wouldn't have a clue how to do it.
I don't bother with the credit cards and stuff. I wouldn't go as far. Like, I do know someone I can sell them to a fella if I wanted to, but to be honest, I couldn't be arsed. I just, as I say, dispose them in a sanitary bin or something. You know, a bin on the street. If I leave the premises, I would dispose of it in a bin on the street or something. I'd prefer to leave it in the toilets though, so the lady in question can't find her belongings, whether it's, you know, her bag or all our credit cards, because there's nothing worse than losing all your credit cards and like other types of cards, you know. I know how much of a nightmare that is to lose them, so I would prefer to leave it there, their belongings, like somewhere where they can be found. And it's only, you know, their money that I've taken.
Street crime is rising, unfortunately. It's actually rising because the